Welcome back to Wicked F150. Now, if you guys have seen on the Facebook page or the YouTube channel last night, I had quite a few parts come in yesterday. And nobody had guessed multiple parts, but they were multiple parts. And we're going to be putting on one today, which, you gotta spin that quick so you don't see the other parts, is AWE. It is their dual catback exhaust with the non-resonated mid-pipe in the top box. So this is a brand new exhaust for an F-150 period. It is, they just came out with their F-150 lineup, their exhaust a couple months ago. I believe it was 2 months ago that they came up with it. But AWE is actually out of Pennsylvania. They've been around for a long time. They've been around since the early 90s. They started out with more of a German tuning and stuff like that. Like they have a lot for those cars that they had started with, Volkswagen, Audi, stuff like that. But they're actually one of the main manufacturers for McLarens, if you could believe that or not, which kind of is a big thing, and like that really got me that they do sport supercars like that. But this is actually the best exhaust I've heard from them, whether it's the V8 or a 3.5 or 2.7 EcoBoost. Now, you can go out and check their channel, AWE Exhausts, on YouTube, and they have videos of the V8, resonated and non-resonated. They have it for the 3.5, resonated, non-resonated. But the only 2.7 video they have is for the dual side exit with the stock resonator, which doesn't sound horrible, but it does give it a little bit more of a ricier tone. But with the dual rear with their non-resonated mid-pipe, I believe that is just going to make it amazing. I listened to their 3.5 video with the non-resonated, and that's what I had to have it. So let's go ahead and get all these parts out and see about getting it done. So this will be their mid-pipe, I would believe. Yeah. Now, of course, you can get resonated. I chose non-resonated because it is a little bit louder. It does have a little bit of a deeper tone. And now we don't have to worry about drone with these, which is why I got the non-resonated, because with AWE, they have a patented 180 tech, which on their channel, there's a video you can see that is, actually it's on American Truck's channel. It explains how that works to where it completely eliminates the drone and in the cab at all. So I went ahead and got the non-res because I'm not worried about the drone. So that is all that's in here. These two pipes, that's it. That's all that's in the smaller box, and this would be the non-resonated mid-pipe. So let's get down to the bottom box. All right. As you can see, this is a much bigger box. This is going to be the whole exhaust. So already you're starting into pipes. This box is heavy as hell. It was set on my porch, and I had to get a dolly to bring it in the garage. It is extremely heavy. Now with this, it is clamped. There is no welding or anything like that. So you unbolt your stock exhaust and bolt this one in. It is that simple. So let's go ahead and empty this box and get it on. All right, now that we're under here, starting at the front, this, yes, it's very close. I can't zoom out any farther. Let's see. All right, so this is your first clip. It's about middle of the front doors, underneath the truck. You got to remove these two clamps, that one and that one. Remove the bolts so you can remove that. Then there's another one right there. And then, of course, there's one or two more behind the muffler there. But we're going to go ahead and start loosening these. Now, we're not going to completely remove them yet. We're just going to get them loose, all of them, and then we'll pull the bolts and pull the whole thing down. And supposedly the easiest way is straight out the back, but we'll see how that goes, and I'll let you guys know. All right, so as you can see, everything's out and everything. Like I said, there were no more bolts holding the exhaust together or to the truck or anything else from the resonator up in the front. All you have to do is pull these out, but it was a pain in the ass to try to pull them out of here, these rubber bushings. It just wasn't happening, so I found it a lot easier just to remove these bolts. One here, here, and then of course one more in the back behind the bump stop right there. It is right there. 2 bolts in that one as well. They're 10 millimeter. The bolts at the resonator are 13 millimeter. But I find it's a whole hell of a lot easier just to remove these bolts and pull these off on the ground. So on the EcoBoost engines, you reuse this one. Okay, so rear door, the furthest one back, and then the one back there. You do not reuse this front one here. So I'll be removing those clips as well. On the V8, you would reuse all 3 of them if you're doing that installation. Now, since I am doing this on the ground, I'm not doing it up in the air. I could not pull the exhaust out because of that big hump right there up over the rear axle. I couldn't pull it out on the ground. So I actually had to cut it behind the muffler and separate them to be able to do that. There's the rear pipe, and then the resonator and stuff are sitting out there. But if you're doing it on the ground, that's the best way to do it. I had to cut it. So there you go. Let's go ahead and get these these new pipes put together. And actually, let's hear it without. Let's hear it straight pipe. What do you think? It's cut off at the resonator. No resonator, no muffler, nothing. Let's start up and see what it's like. All right, so all the pipe is in except for the tips. They're still drying. So let's go over the install here, okay? And for anybody that, continues to complain, there's always a couple. I didn't see you unscrew that bolt. I didn't see you screw it back in. I go back and show you exactly what you need to do each and every time. I got 2 hands. I do 99% of everything I've done to this truck myself, so I don't have a third hand to hold the camera. This should be enough, and if anybody ever has any questions, you can always comment on here, message the Facebook page, and for those that you have already done that, know that I am always willing to help in any way that I can. Now, the installation. So the instructions, you start at the front and you work your way back. Okay, that is how the install goes. And it isn't bad, but to make things easier, I'm going to explain how I found to do it easier. So when you put the non-resonated pipe in, which is what I have, whether you get the non-res, the resonated, or you keep your stock, well, I guess if you keep your stock, you don't have to worry about it. But if you get their aftermarket resonator, do not tighten these bolts, these 2 right here, for the resonator to connect. Do not tighten them the whole way, so you can move it a little bit to attach the muffler piece. I tightened it the whole way, it's good and steady, and then I got to put this piece in, and it's probably about 2 inches away from each other, side to side. So I had to loosen it up, put it together, then go back and tighten the mid pipe. But then when you connect all these, make sure you keep the clamp on the bigger side. Do not tighten them until you are done. Do not tighten any clamp until you're completely done. So resonated pipe in, bolts in to hold it up, but not completely tight, so that way you can adjust the tip here. Then you throw on the muffler piece. That goes up there. Now, this is why you need your stock hangers. You need the one here, nothing here. You need this one, and then you need that one up there. Those are the only two hangers from factory that you need to help hold the exhaust up. So let's slide back a little bit. All right. But this, the muffler is a whole one piece, the whole way up to there, and then that's where it splits. And that's another clamp that you need here. Now the clamps on the AW exhaust are 15. These are 15 millimeter. But like I said, keep the clamp loose until you're completely installed. Bring the Y down. It comes to right here. Then your driver side piece there. Your passenger side, driver side over here. So you slide them up onto the splitter, again with another clamp. And then you have the tip there. You can see where it's connected right there. On that side and on the driver's side right there. Those are your straight pipes to come off the angles to go straight out the back. Like I said, the tips are not installed, they're still drying. But this is the exhaust. Now, I didn't tighten those clamps, the very last piece, so I can adjust for the tips once they're on, well, you know, how high, low I need to adjust them before I tighten those clamps. But everything else is tightened to keep it. It's not going anywhere. One final thing on the install that I just found to be a lot easier and confusing how it's written. Here, let me go around the outside. All right, so before you connect this piece here coming off the Y on either side, you have to install these pieces on both sides. Of course, with the angle going inside, both of them inside the middle of the bed. Now these just slide over these two bolts, slides in, but it has a hanger to help hold up the bottom piece here. Now they tell you to put these in, then put this pipe in, then put the rubber on. Yeah, that's not gonna work. It just didn't work at all. There's not enough space in between the shield from the spare tire and this one to get it on. I had to take this one back off, put the rubber on, then put it back on. So to save you all a little bit of time, do that first. Put the rubber on this top piece at least to make it easier on yourself. You don't have to put it on the actual pipe. That part wasn't bad, but definitely put it on these when you first bolt it on. Makes it a lot easier. Then these, like your final step before you put the tips on, is to put these on. It's just an Allen key to keep the rubber from moving, which I don't think it would, but I mean, you really never do know. Depends on how wet they get, slide off, and your exhaust could fall. So they give you these Allen keyed clamps to put them on. That's, like I said, the final step. You can do that sooner whenever you're installing these to go ahead and save yourself some time later. Just wanted to throw that out there to make it easier on anybody else that decides to get AW exhaust. That's the only changes I would have made to the installation. But like I said, they do McLarens, Volkswagens, Audis. They do Corvettes, Camaros, F150s, Mustangs, Focus. They have a whole lineup. Go to their website, awe-tuning.com, and check them out. Of course, on YouTube, they have plenty of videos on there. Depending on the vehicle, they also have intakes and stuff like that for your vehicle. Just go in there and see see what you can find for your vehicle. But let's go ahead and see if these tips are done. I think they came out perfectly. Now, all I did was scuff them up with green pad. That was it. Hopefully that works. I didn't want to sand them. I know chrome can be a little finicky, but I'm hoping that was enough instead of actually sanding them. But scuff them up, wipe them off, clean everything off. I put, of course, 50% coverage, 3 coats, and then a clear coat on top. And that's what I'm waiting for to dry. Nope, still a little sticky. So I think what I'm going to do is just stick my hand in the middle so I can go ahead and get these put on here and get this done. And then we can listen to what it sounds like. Now, you will have some extra pipe left over because these are, if I had a long bed, then I would have used the extra piping. But, of course, I don't. I got lucky enough to get the short bed. I would, just to clarify, I would prefer a long bed. But don't need those, so, but they throw them in there in case you do. Let's go ahead and give it a listen once these tips are in. Alright, so, have the tips on. Both tips coming out. Now, they do seem awful big to me. They really do. But, that's what you get. And it's better than being too small and looking even more like a little ricer. So, I apologize for the wind. I gotta set it out here so you guys can hear it, of course, and there's no way to block it. So, hopefully the wind doesn't knock this over. Now, this is a cold start. All that I've done all day, whatever time that it is, I did the cold start. Stock exhaust first thing this morning, pulled it in the garage. That was it. Then started it. It was running less than a minute for the without any piping. So you guys could hear that. And that was probably about maybe an hour ago, a little bit more than that. So it is completely cold. It hasn't actually ran any. So let's listen. And now you have heard amazing exhaust for 15 plus EcoBoost. This is on the 2.7 non-resonated mid-pipe, full dual from the catback exhaust from AWE. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Again, questions, concerns, leave them in the comments or message me on the Facebook page. All in the description below, which of course I will include the link to their website, the link to this specific exhaust, and I hope you all like the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and have a great weekend. Now, I want to quickly add in here for anybody that says, oh, you know, it's a V6 or it sounds like a ricer or anything like that. It definitely doesn't sound like a ricer at all. And of course, it's not going to sound like a V8. I mean, it's that V8 sound back. But this is as close as any exhaust that I've heard, and I love it. I hope you guys do too. If you have an EcoBoost exhaust, like I said, hit up awetuning.com and check them out. This is warm. It's been running. You hear it? I think it sounds amazing. Have a great weekend.